Thank you for watching KTN. We continue with the coverage on the African Union election, the battle royale that you've been bringing to you. And now we're just taking the analysis of the after the vote, how to move forward as well, and what the repercussions would be in the country. And before we went on the break, we were just having a discussion on Raila being back pretty much in the country, not as the AU chair, and what that means for himself and the president. And Ambrose, with now the changes, it is felt as though had Raila been the chairperson of the African Union, it would have been easier for the president to run his affairs. But with Raila, it is feared that he might join the elections. What next? Is it going to be easier for the president, or?
You know, sometimes when people talk. Mm-hmm. I imagine these guys, were they in the US or they were in Australia? President Ruto was elected, Honorable Raila has been here. Mm-hmm. They have been here until the idea of running for AU came. And then the naysayers and negative people thought, oh, Ruto wants to get rid of Raila. Some of us thought the work that Raila has put in this country for the last 40 years, if he was to crown it with the leadership in the whole of Africa, it will be a legacy that is big and good. But now they think that, hey, now that he has not gotten it, hey, there will be, these people are in what is called broad-based government. These campaigns have brought them even closer. So this mirage you are seeing that Raila will be leading, he has left these other cowards to lead, and you can see wameshindwa. They can't call it any demonstration anyway. Now, Honorable Raila also, remember age also is with him. He's 80 years. If you see him, you can see that age has taken its toll. You no longer expect him to go to Kekomba and then walk down there protesting with people. Not because he doesn't want, but because age takes its toll. The others who have been hiding behind him, they should have been celebrating and saying, this is our opportunity. People like Kalonzo would now be leading and doing and getting prepared. Rigiji would now be in Kisumu and whatever, not talking watu yangu ya milima. He would be embracing the whole Kenya. So you can see that people are hoping that Raila will come and cause mayhem. I don't see Honorable Raila behaving like that. If something is deeply wrong, the campaigns have brought it in such a way that they will talk with the president. They will tell Your Excellency, this one, there's a problem, deal with it. That's what I see. This other one, you see that he will be in the streets. Analala kwa lami, hiyo ni nyinyi ndio mnaona, mimi sioni. I also see that the president is going to up his game for 2027. He's going to over-prepare resources, people, whatever. He will be on overdrive. He will be planning that Raila, Rigiji, Kalonzo, watu wakipangwa yote. How am I going to defeat them? So this fear that is being said, we want at this critical moment for Kenya to be relatively cohesive, quiet, so that the economy re-strengthens after being beaten up during Corona and the Ukraine war. And now Trump has come in and is also closing some taps. So we want a bit of peace and direction. We want Shah and Shia, as you call it, to set so that problems which are there are dealt with, so that it starts working seamlessly. The only thing which can bring you to bankruptcy are health issues in this country. We want a situation where we pay our international debts. We collect enough taxes to pay our international debts so that the shilling is also steady. We want a situation where people can talk. People can talk. We can have a model that is funding university education and our education in a way that does not leave anybody behind. These Kenyans are so brilliant, they can talk about it. Where we think the president has gone ahead of us, we say, Your Excellency, rudi nyuma kidogo. We were saying this. Listen, This is what we are doing. But hii Kenya ingine mnaona Raila amerudi, watu watafurugana, hiyo ni yenye. And I'm telling you in Jesus' name, there will be nothing like that. When people thought Gen Z's, Raila has been in opposition for all these years. He has never threatened to ban parliament. He has never threatened to ban the Supreme Court. Now wengine hawataki watu waende kanisa, hawataki watu wafanye nini, wanataka kuchoma hii, wachome ile, wanataka kuweka watu kwa Facebook jeneza nini. My brother, let me give you a small story. When we were young, if you chose to insult somebody, you make sure if you are sent to the market, you go with your elder brother, because they'll wait for you along the road.
Yes.
Now when you're in school, the safety of the school, unaweza kuchokoza wenzako. Then they say, I'll close with you.
Yes.
You know the day of closure, shule imefungwa, mnatembea pamoja. So those who are clever, either you walk in a group, or the day of closing, you don't go to school. Because somebody says, I'll close
with you.
When you hide behind the dark rooms of the internet, thinking you are hidden, just insult some people. They'll wait for you in the dark.
And as we talk about Raila, Ruto, the political landscape changing as well, we look at the political landscape 2027, how both of them being here, moving forward, how that would look like, and if indeed there will be any alliances being formed ahead of that 2027, because it is being experienced in the country as we move forward. Now with Raila's presence and the broad-based government being in place and it even getting broader by the day as we speak, what does Raila's presence in the country, say 24/7, mean for the political landscape as we go towards 2027, equally the alliances and realignments that will take place? How do you look at that?
How I look at it is people are excited that Raila is coming back because they expect he's coming now to fight the government, of which I would expect Raila should do differently. We need to put all this energy into building our economy and taking advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Yes, we didn't get the AUC seat, but what else can we get in Africa? As he said, that we are ahead of everyone else. How can we build this economy? How can we use our resources in terms of the people we have, what we have, and the position that we have as a country, knowing that we are also the bloc that supports most of the transport that goes to the other African countries. So that means we are the regional trade authority here. So that is what we should be taking advantage of. And even as these realignments in the political arena are coming, which definitely will come, I would look at it in a way where we need to do a lot of intergenerational leadership. We need to build new leaders. As we build new leaders, we need to steer away from politics. Let's play little politics and build more of economy. Because if we keep politicking, and our economy is still deteriorating, we are not going anywhere. So we need to start using the resources we have, the young people that we have. How are we going to use them as we are moving on to the digital era? All that energy needs to be transformed into building economy, building jobs, and making sure that they have opportunities for employment and proper education. For all, yes. I agree. And
Ambrose, political landscape as we approach 2027, including the realignments and the friendships that will be formed moving forward. How do you look at that? Do we look at a situation where the broad-based government will continue being broader, alliances are being formed? Are we likely to see Raila support the president for the 2027, or will he go his separate way?
I think, number one, let's appreciate that Raila is a general. And a general cannot be let loose. You've seen even when the general retires, he's pulled out. The vehicle is pulled out. So Raila will have to be pulled out of the scene. There's work that requires a person of his stature. We have the DRC issue. The president and the East Africans will need an acceptable envoy that will bring people. We have the South Sudan issue that is still lingering. We have various issues that it can deal with instead of dragging him to local areas and then you smear him with the mud. That, I think, will come. Secondly, the question is not realignment. The question is, will Raila be on the ballot or he will not?
Do you see him being on the ballot?
Let me not predict now, but looking at his age, if he chose to be on the ballot, it would be a mistake. Not a mistake because he'll not have the support, but a mistake because the Raila we know, the one we have in our minds, is not the one who is there. When I was in the University of Nairobi, Mandela was being released. And we gathered at the Central Square, waiting to celebrate that day. And the Mandela we knew was the one we were reading in the history books, a young, vibrant lawyer with a cut across his head like this. And so we were Mandela, Mandela. So as he was being released live, we saw Mzee coming out, and we were like, what's wrong? So most Kenyans see Honorable Raila of the 2007 and 2012. And I want you to take keen look, even if you invite him, look, that energy has been taken by the age, by also the suffering he had in the detention, and the frail, the stressful nature of politics. But that may not buy him from being on the ballot. But the lies by some of these cowards that Raila, this time if you come, we will beat you, we give you come. Because they want to use Raila as a shield, as spear and a shield. Ruto has defeated us, so beat him for us. But when it comes to leadership, they change. So the realignments, I think if they are coming, they'll come towards the end of next year. So for now, small things like, oh, the court ruled about majority, leader of majority. The opposition has already taken their positions. My classmate, TJ Kajwang, has already been elected PAC chair. And they have all taken. So these are the things that people quote on and quote on. There are things which are justiciable. If I was a judge, I would not have made that decision.
Finally, let me just throw this to you. Do you look at the opposition uniting Kalonzo, Raila, and Gachagua, Matiang'i as well, in coming up with a candidate? And would Raila support that?
Gachagua has one problem. He needs to be cleared by the court. Otherwise, he'll be firing in the forest. Kalonzo has very good English and good suit. But the wherewithal to combine everybody and to say Matosha. And then number three, Honorable Raila, he knows that elections are expensive. So he will not say, wewe tosha ata pesa una. Please. And if Raila is not on the ballot, I will come back here to tell you, and I guarantee you, the Luo nation will vote for Ruto. As long as Raila is not on the ballot. If he's on the ballot, they'll vote for him. And if he's not on the ballot, please. Don't overrate Matiang'i. Yeah. You know, when you have no candidate, we overrate people. Bring Matiang'i, bring Weda, bring Nani, bring Nani. If Honorable Kalonzo had been strategic, he would be the president. Raila would have been president in 2007 and up to 2017. He would be president now. Had he been strategic, had he just said, let me support Raila in 2007. Let us bring the Kamba vote. Wangeshinda Kibaki asubuhi. But he was still saying, nitapata katikati. So, he's been passing katikati to the extent that now the same Raila says, come for interview if you want to be my running mate. Then they do some mock interview. They say you have failed. I'm telling you, if you ask Honorable Raila to support Kalonzo or Ruto, you'll be surprised at the choice.
Surprised because you would support Ruto?
Obviously.
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 Ambrose.
Not because of anything. Mm-hmm. I can see that he doesn't have high regard for him.
For him.
And that dates back to 2007, when they could have easily taken power. But Kalonzo played ipesa, isi pesa, ipata, potea. And the presidency went.
All right. That is a good place to conclude today's interview. 2027 realignments, as well as the alliances that would be formed. Ambrose Weda telling us that if it was a choice, if Raila is not on the ballot, then that vote from the Nyanza region would actually go to President William Ruto. But that's us to wait, as well as saying there are non-starters. Raila is actually not coming back. Raila would be reassigned to other interest in the African continent because there's still work to be done, especially matters to do with the DRC and his political stature, his stature as Raila Odinga, giving forth an opportunity for him to do a lot more. Conversations that will continue in the days to come. In studio with me, I had Ambrose, I had Weda, who is an advocate of the High Court, as well as Annabelle Wambui, who is big on matters African youth and trade in the Commonwealth. Asanteni sana for keeping us company, to the entire team that made this production a success. Asante sana, including our team, Daniel Kariuki from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, for beaming it live for us. From me, asanteni sana, and